I mean, we'll see.
All right, Bill. Whenever you're ready. What are you showing me, dude? You're showing me a laptop.
Attaboy Bill!
Bill, does that mean the show started?
Attaboy Bill!
Bill, does that mean...
Welcome to Hammer Dahn!
Number one sports gambling podcast coming out of the Pat McAfee Incorporated offices. I am Tone Diggs. Sitting to my left is the aforementioned Pat McAfee. How are you doing today,
Hey,
sir?
not too shabby. Excited to be here. Cannot wait to hear Paisan's thoughts on some moves and also, get some ideas on who we should be hammering. Welcome to the FanDuel family, Virginia, officially in Michigan tomorrow.
Huge.
Let's go. We got we got games to win. We got money to take over. We only got a few games left.
2 new states, a lot more money for FanDuel, a lot more money in your pockets as well.
Bingo.
The Canadian sensation, Bubba Gumpino, is sitting to Pat's left. How are you doing, sir?
Great, Tony. How are you?
How's your gambling going?
What do you have a hat on?
Took it on the shins yesterday. It was a tough day.
Yeah, but the day before that, you cleaned house.
Yeah, we're winning people money out there. That's all that matters.
Hey, what do you got the hat on for?
I mean, I'd probably never sit in this room without a hat on again.
No.
Bright lights.
No, because Zito attacked him.
And on the phone, former NFL GM, host of the Lombardi line. Make sure you subscribe to the Daily Coach, GM Shuffle Pod. Put your computer on silent. Michael Lombardi.
That boy, Paisan.
How we doing today, gentlemen? How we doing? I just want you to know I sent some stuff so you can get ready to watch the championship games next week or the week after the Super Bowl, all that. So you should be getting it in the mail here.
I saw you sent it. I appreciate it. I have to ask you this, and I hope it's not in reference to what I think it's in reference to.
No, I sent you food. I didn't. I said that's not what I was talking about. I sent you popcorn.
You sent some
Oh,
more
you
popcorn.
said some more Lombo corn.
Really?
That is a big hit in the office, Michael. I could promise you that.
I mean, it's a big hit it's a big hit everywhere. I had to send some more to you.
Whoa.
You make that yourself?
Whoa. The popcorn is unbelievable. We appreciate that. I just checked the email to see the email that I missed because I didn't know I got an email from you. I clicked on the email. Is this one you sent to all of us?
Yeah.
You gave a TED Talk? I didn't know this dude gave a fucking TED Talk. Look at him.
Yeah, I gave one out in Santa Barbara. I got to turn this thing around. I can't get it straight. There you go. It's better. All right, there. I'm much better now. Trying to hide a chin. Yeah, I gave one out in Santa Barbara. It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, Pat. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Why? Just because everybody else that does it sounds so smart all the time, and
because you get 15 minutes to do it. And you have no PowerPoint presentation. You have no cue cards. It's memorized. It's Hamlet, to be or not to be. Like, you got to go. Like, you just got to go do it. And you can't stutter on a line or forget a line. I never was more scared in all my life. Like, I drank probably as much Jack Daniels as I could drink that after that thing was over.
Celebration, job well done. I haven't watched it yet. Job well done, yeah?
I don't know. I mean, it was good.
It was good.
I didn't have a blurb, and I got it in. And if you don't, you got to do it in the amount of time. And you have and there's people there watching, and you come on that stage, and you get in that circle, and you're like, holy shit, this is scary.
Not a lot of people get a chance to get into the ring, pal. Not a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Hey, can I ask him a question, Dix?
You can.
I don't want to move the thing around too much here, but Sirianni becomes the head coach of the Eagles. Is that because they think a little piece of Frank Reich is coming back to Carson Wentz because he was the offensive coordinator? Or what exactly are your thoughts on that whole thing?
You see that top left right there? You're right.
Eagles have been living in the 2017 Super Bowl. I think this is a move where they touched Frank Reich. It's a connection to Frank. I mean, look, Josh McDaniels was involved in it. I only know Josh. I mean, Josh is one of the best football people I've ever been around in my life. So I don't know Nick. He's never really called plays. Frank calls plays. So you're getting an inexperienced offensive coordinator who's really, Frank runs the offense. I think everybody would readily admit that. Now, it doesn't mean he can't be a head coach, but I think this is bigger than that. I think the Eagles believe as an organization they can carry the head coach. They've got a line coach. They got all these people. They'll help him put together his defensive staff. It's the subcontractor element of the National Football League going on in Philadelphia. If they hired McDaniels, that wouldn't have been the case.
And a first-time head coach basically being able to be told what to do, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, look, look, here's what I say all the time. These jobs that are hard, they need experience. And the answer to most questions is not through elimination. Like if you're in Houston and you're Nick Cesario, you can't eliminate Deshaun Watson because he's a distraction. You have to solve the problem through thought, through your experience, through what you remember, what people have told you or taught you, how they solved it through the years. But when you minimize the head coaching role, like the Eagles clearly have done, taking someone with no experience, not even a play caller, no disrespect to Nick, I don't know Nick, but that's a real challenge. That's a real challenge. You're going to learn on the job, and the NFL is not a place to learn on the job. It's not very friendly.
Hey, did you watch the Dan Campbell press conference or the Bob Slaw press conference?
I have not. I heard about it. I mean,
did you hear about Motor City Dan because of us?
Huh?
Did you hear about Motor City Dan's press conference because of us? It was electric, Paisan.
I was following you on Twitter. I was working on something else, and they just were basically, people were going nuts over it. I guess I got to watch it. I don't know how long that gig lasts. Do you, Pat?
He drinks a gallon of coffee before noon,
He's
Mike.
Bill Cowher reincarnated.
Mike, listen to this. Mike, Darius Butler came on my show or whatever, and he and I were teammates for a few years, 3-4 years or whatever, and we know each other pretty well. And that is the type of thing that I think a lot of NFL guys could potentially, I don't want to say mock or, potentially get sick of rather quickly. And locker rooms, by the way, have a quick way of seeing through some stuff. It seems like if you talk to DeMario Davis, this is Motor City Dan every single day. Guys, like if you're just your genuine self every single day, if it comes and goes, I think guys will notice that. But boy, he's going to have to get a specific group of players in that locker room, I think, Mike.
Yeah, you can really see Chris Spielman. I mean, if you ever listen to Chris Spielman do a game, all he talks about is pad level and toughness and flippering and, where we got to put your face in. Like, I get football's a tough sport, but football's an intellectual sport too. You got to think your way through some things. This is going to be interesting. I mean, look, one thing we know, the smartest guys usually win. It's not necessarily the ones who scream the loudest.
So a bit of a meathead, you're saying,
like you might not be all in on Dan.
You're not all in on Motor City MCDC?
I'm not all in on that at professional level. I think that works in college. I don't think it works in pro football. I don't think you can scream, and I think the motivation through sports comes through intellectual capacity. I think this, and I've told this to my two sons, whether you're 18, white, black, or 90, white or black, players will only listen to you if you can make them better. It's through your intellectual capacity to make them better you can capture their attention, not through your metaphors of lions running through the forest or the gazelle chasing somebody. That doesn't work. That's not really what it's about. It's about how I can intellectually stimulate you to make you the best player you can be.
Hey, we're going to see.
Snake oil does tend to run out.
Whoa,
dude.
Whoa, what are you saying? You were talking shit on somebody right there. Everybody.
I mean, there's a guy in Minnesota.
Whoa, row the boat.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
You typed the words out. As Bill Walsh once said to me in 1984, the NFL is not the best and the brightest, ... always has proven true.
It is. I was driving him down El Camino Real one time, and he was complaining about, now remember, there's no cell phones now. There's no Sirius radio in the car. We couldn't listen to the Pat McAfee show driving to the air. We couldn't have done any of that, right? So, I had his attention, and I would say to him, and somebody got a job, but I don't want to say who, and he's like, this is not, just so you're aware of this, Michael, this is not the league of the best of the brightest. And so why did Walsh say that to me? He said that to me because when he was a young assistant at the Cincinnati Bengals, he was the offensive coordinator. He was the godfather of the West Coast offense. And he invented this offense because of the expansion team Bengals. He knew he couldn't block anybody, so he really wanted long handoffs through the passing game. So he invented this offense, and Paul Brown allowed him to do it. But what Paul Brown didn't allow him to do was go on to become a head coach. Paul Brown kind of made fun of him. If anybody called to ask about him, he had no chance to get the job. Kind of steered him away. And then when Paul Brown retired, Walsh was convinced he was going to become the head coach of the Bengals, and he gave it to Bill Johnson, as the O-line coach. And Walsh went furious. He went out to San Diego, became the offensive coordinator for 1 year, became the head coach at Stanford for 2 years, which is his always belief is simply this, is if you want to be a head coach, go be a head coach. Go prove to people you can do it. Go prove to people you can do it. And then they can't deny you once you do. So, and then he became the head coach at Stanford at the 49ers at like 48, 49 years old. It took him forever. Same thing with Vince Lombardi. He could never get a head coaching interview. Now, he felt it was because he was Italian, and he felt it was more about race, about his heritage than it was anything. But it's the same issue. And the league simply doesn't always promote the best candidates. They promote the candidate that fits them best.
That happens a lot, huh? It happens. Yeah. And by the way, and I don't want to say not just the NFL, but that seems to happen a lot. I think everybody is realizing in the world.
So your tweet 52 minutes ago, Mike, who was that about? Was it about Sirianni?
Well, I mean, look, I will say this without any, I don't know what the Eagles were looking for. I don't talk to anybody. But if you were to go into a room and talk football with one man and the other man, it's not even close. That's not close.
Oh, and so you think McDaniels should have got the job?
Well, obviously, people were saying, well, Sirianni beat out McDaniels. No, I don't think that's that. My point was people get jobs. Remember, it's elected, not selected.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't about the Steelers signing Dwayne Haskins.
No. Look, I think, the Steelers are probably sitting there saying, what are we going to do? We like this kid coming out. If anybody can change the kid, it could be Tomlin.
Hey, same agent, too. He's probably getting a little bit more information. Same agency, I guess, not same agent, but same agency. Tomlin probably got a little bit maybe deeper into the story, the whole thing. And the Steelers do need quarterbacks over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old saying, there's a sign when you leave Barstow, California, at a diner in Barstow, and the sign says, either you eat here or we both starve. Because there's no place to get food between Barstow and Las Vegas, right? So either you eat here or we both starve, right? And that's Dwayne Haskins. He either does it good in Pittsburgh or he's going to starve.
Very true.
Last balloon here. If Tomlin cuts him, it's over.
For me, it's really no risk for the Steelers. You have a chance to potentially get better at the backup position because Mason Rudolph stinks.
Ben can get him away from the strip.
Do I want him? Do I want him as my starting quarterback right now? No. But if he gets a chance to sit, maybe for a year and see how that goes, maybe. I just know it's better than Mason Rudolph, I think.
Yeah, you can throw the football.
Yeah.
I think they have the same problems, though, Tone. I think they both have anticipation problems. I think they have to see it before they can throw it.
Listen,
now,
I'm not.
You on Hugh Jackson interviewing for that offensive coordinator job.
Do I? I think that they are interviewing Hugh because he always seemed to have a good run game. And I think Mike, and he's talked about it in as many press conferences since at the end of the season and then the one press conference after the season, that they have to fix the run game. And I know that Hugh has done that in places. What do you think about Hugh?
Well, I mean, Hugh's done a good job as an offensive coordinator. Hugh knows the West Coast offense. So I think Hugh, like a lot of people, they stop coaching when they get to become head coaches. They forget that they were hired to be the best coach on the staff. So they stopped being the best coach on the staff. I think everybody's entitled to a second chance. I think if Tomlin gives him the opportunity to do what he can do, then he's got a bright offensive mind. I mean, he's not been a coach that's lasted this long because he doesn't know what to do.
And Matt Canada is getting that gig, I guess, Pelissero told us.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd heard. I was surprised that maybe Hugh will come in as the run game coordinator.
Yeah, so last week Canada was assumed to be the next OC. But then it hasn't been announced yet, and that's because they said they were bringing in O-line coaches to make sure their philosophy matches with the OC's philosophy. So and then the news came out about Hugh today, which was a little bit surprising, but we'll see there.
Well, you will need a running back to have a run game as well.
Yeah.
James Conner, he's getting signed back.
No, he's a free agent. He's gone. He's gone.
Who are you bringing in, Tone?
ETN.
How about Aaron Jones?
Tone's not bringing anybody in because Tone's got to look at his cap. See, this is the other thing I think that everybody's missing about this Deshaun Watson rumors about where he's going to show up, right? So there's so many people that don't have cap room that would have to take on. First of all, I talked to a GM in the league the other day and said, this is the most ridiculous story out there that they would actually trade him. Like, he doesn't believe they're going to trade him. That may be true, that may not be. I don't think Adam Schefter or Chris Mortensen are making stuff up, but I'm just saying that's what this guy told me. But let's take it a step further. Like, somebody's got to create the cap room. And with the cap going down and to take on a huge cap number, now you can lower his cap charge, no doubt. But you still have to get him on your team before you do that.
I guess isn't it only 10.5 this year though, Mike?
Huh?
Isn't it only 10.5 this upcoming year though?
It may be, but you still have to take it on.
Yeah.
And then Houston's got to dump all the money that they just gave him into their cap. Are they going to do that?
It's so interesting because, and also he's a franchise, not only the baggage alongside it whenever it comes from a cash standpoint and a salary cap standpoint, he's your franchise he's a franchise quarterback in the NFL. It's like, if you move on, are you saying, okay, we can find another one or we're going to get another one or whatever because you need to have a quarterback if you want to win, or are they just hoping to be good and just kind of get along with it? It's a very interesting situation down there that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon.
And the other thing is, look, Al Davis refused to allow us to trade any player to anybody. Like, if Al Davis was running the Texans, first of all, he wouldn't be in this situation. But if he were running the Texans, you wouldn't be able to trade him to Indianapolis, Jacksonville.
Yeah, there's no way. Somebody was saying that. There's no way they trade him to Indy. No way.
No, you couldn't do that, right? And I take it a step further. There's no way you could trade him to an AFC team. Would you want to have him stand in your way of getting to the Super Bowl?
That'd be hilarious, though. You know what I mean? That's like Jameis throwing a dagger against Tampa.
Yeah, seriously.
I think you can't overthink anything until they have a coach, until Caserio actually meets with Watson too, right, Mike?
How come he hasn't already met with him, you think? How come Caserio hasn't met with Watson already? Like,
I don't know if you're allowed to. I don't think you're allowed to talk to players right now. You can't make them come in the building.
Yeah, but he could go see him, right?
I don't know that. I think the rules prohibit some of that contact.
That would be interesting to me because let's say Caserio, his name's Nick, by the way. I called him Chris this morning. That's on me 100%. But let's say Caserio, when Deshaun Watson was on that island somewhere, imagine if Caserio shows up on that island, okay, and he goes, listen, all right, can we handle this? Deshaun Watson would be like, all right, at least he's showing a little bit, like this guy wants me to be here, Now, he's not the problem, by the way, which I've made very clear. It's the person above. But isn't that something you would want to do? You said get the Dabo. So, and then if you get Dabo, teach you how to hopefully win over Deshaun. Do you think there's rules prohibiting from him going and talking to him and settling the whole situation?
You can just have this one-on-one meeting with the player. I think it's got to get based on the old PA. Now, I don't know. I'd have to check on that. But it doesn't stop you from going to do – I'd go see the mother. I would go fly and see the mother's the most influential person in his life. I'd go find his mother. I mean, I wouldn't stop. Like I said earlier, there's no way I'm stopping. I'm not trading him. I can't get enough back in a trade. I'm not giving up the one of the best quarterbacks in football to hope I get a quarterback.
Can't do it.
Mother, I'm going to talk to anybody I could talk to. I'm going to do everything in my power to show this young man that I'm in his corner. Like that, there's nothing more important that I can do.
That kind of goes to Watson's point that maybe he just doesn't think the Texans do enough in general for him.
Well, he doesn't like the owner.
Yeah,
and Easterby. I guess he doesn't like what Easterby, but a different Easterby. I guess that's what it is. And maybe Caserio thinks there's nothing I can say to make him change that, but maybe. And I think people would potentially say like, oh, Caserio's chasing around his quarterback. It's like, this is part of the job here now, right? A GM, you got to deal with this type of stuff, right?
There's no doubt. Every day, there's something coming up every single day that never makes it to the press that you got to deal with.
All right, this last portion of the show, Mike, I like what we did last Thursday when you had like your breakdowns of the games and how you see they're going to go. So we'll start with that. First game of the weekend is Bucs at Packs minus.
Before we start that, the outright winner has covered the point spread in all but 5 of the last 38 conference championship games.
33-5. The first week was 44-5-1 for wild card, and then last week you said it was like 85%.
89% last week.
So we just have to
team that didn't cover was New England when they beat Jacksonville.
Just remember this going into the next playoffs, and when we're talking about all this, just pick the fucking winner.
Yeah.
Well, we did that week 1.
Well, week 1 we hit on the Colts.
It was 4 what was there, 6 games week 1? Yeah. And I think it went 5-1.
Except for the one that Lombardi changed his
Yeah, that was my fault.
Lombardi's
that was
record.
my fault.
But trends and everything he's saying, that we should have done. We should have stuck with.
Just pick the fucking
Home teams are 10-4 against the spread in conference championships since 2013.
Boom.
But home teams this year in the playoffs are only 4-6 against the spread.
Whoa.
Probably because of home field. It's not the same home field anymore. But
Lambeau is.
But KC and Lambeau.
Casey's not with Buffalo, though.
What do you mean?
Doesn't really matter, right? Same. Cold.
Oh, no, I meant with fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. No. And Bill's Mafia, by the way, will find a way in there.
Yeah.
They-
And there's 17,000.
Right. I guess, I don't know if I guess getting Packers tickets is very difficult.
I would assume so.
Like, very, very difficult. What, 6,700 or something?
Yeah. Do you have any other trends, Gumpy?
Tom Brady, when the total's over 50, he's 22 out of 29 to the under.
Oh, here we go.
Packers are getting more than 50% of the bets. In his career, he's 28-15-3 against the spread and 2-0 against the spread with the Bucs.
Boom.
I believe the Packers have gone over in like their last 6 or 7 playoff games. Yeah.
Jesus. What are we doing? We got trends against trends.
Bucks at Packs, open 3.5. It's a 3 right now. 58% of the tickets, 58% of the money on the Packs. Lombardi, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think I have both these games as really almost pick-em type games. When you break down, let's go Kansas City, Buffalo.
Mike, before you start, can I ask? So normally in a normal year, if the line sets the home, or if the book sets the line at -3, somewhere around there, we'll say it's -3. Normally they also think the game is a pick'em, but they're giving 3 for home field advantage. Have you guys talked at all about this? Have the bookmakers changed that this year?
I think so. I talked to the bookmakers, Vinny at the South Point. So they opened up this line in the Buffalo Kansas City game with the idea that Mahomes was going to play, and then it moved from 3 down to 2.5 right away, and then it got bought back up to 3. They probably would have, if he would have been healthy after the game and no different game, and like a normal game, they might have opened this at 4. He said, but it went to 3 because there was some degree of uncertainty.
Okay.
And then the other game, they felt the same thing. I think they started at 3.5, and it's kind of gotten bet in different directions.
Okay, go ahead with Bucks Packers.
So for me, like I always go over, like, okay, first half point totals. Buffalo's got 13. They average about 13.5 points in the first half. Kansas City's at 11. In the first quarter, both these teams are really even. They both average 4.5 points. But what changes a little bit is Buffalo's better in the fourth quarter. They almost score 9 points in the fourth quarter, where Kansas City only scores 7.5. And then to me, the difference in the game really comes into the red zone. Buffalo's better in the red zone. They average 15 points in their red zone. Kansas City's at 13. I think it's a really close game. I'm worried. I got messed up last week with Kansas City's field goal kicker. I worry about that a little bit. I worry about how Kansas City, they're both, how about this? They're 43% on third down. They both are able to convert. And then when I break the middle 8, both these teams are really good in the middle 8. Kansas City's 3.79, Buffalo's 3.50, which means they're able to score. So I think it's a really even game. I think that they're power ranked really even. Kansas City slightly better than the other. Here's, to me, the key to the game. Buffalo has got to not punt. They can't punt more than one time. They can't punt more than once. You punt twice, you're going to lose. And so they've got to be really good on third and short. They've got to be really good on fourth and short. They've got to really use Josh Allen's feet. I think 5 to 6 to 8 runs out of Josh Allen is going to be critical. They got to control the ball, but forget about controlling the ball. Carolina controlled the ball for 38, 39 minutes, and the Chiefs had it 21, and the Chiefs still scored 33 points. So you've got to be able to control the ball. You got to score upon score. You got to hold serve, and you can't punt.
I heard a stat earlier today. Only one team has lost in this championship round when they've scored 30 points, and that was the Chiefs against the Patriots 2 years ago, I believe, if you remember that game.
The offsides game.
Yeah. Pat, he talked about Bucker. Wasn't there hold issues with Bucker?
Yeah, it was snap issues. The laces were straight back, ball was spinning. That snapper is very good. I assume they get that tightened up. I think Butker's going to bounce back very nicely, but you're saying they only allowed one punt or whatever, that means field goals are okay in this particular situation is what you're saying?
Well, I think you got to go for it on some of those field goals. I think if it's 4th and 4 and you're going to try to kick a 50-yard field goal, you're better off going for it.
Yeah, for sure, especially
I think you got to play that out. I think you got to be really careful there on that. And, and I think that's going to be critical when you do it. Like, look, the Patriots scored 37 points against them when they won out there. That was a 31-31 game in overtime. And, the Patriots were 13 for 18 on third down in that game.
Phew.
That's what you got to have. You got to have a lot of third downs. You got to convert them, and you got to score a lot of points.
Do you guys have a feeling in this early game?
Do you think Josh Allen's
game,
deep balls he was missing was because of the win last week? Because
I think he had a hard time. I think it's hard to judge the win, when it's behind you, when it's in front of you. If you go back to that game when New England dominated the game, New England in that game that Brady won there, New England had over 500 yards of offense. 500 yards of offense, and the Chiefs had 290. New England had the ball, and that was an overtime game. New England had the ball 43 minutes to the Chiefs 20 minutes. That's what you're going to have to do to win this game. You got to score with them, and you got to keep the ball away from them as much as possible. And really the key is how many possessions are you willing to get them? How many are you willing to get them? Do you know how many times the Patriots punted in that game when they beat them?
How many?
Twice.
Who was it, Ryan Allen or Jake Bailey?
It was Ryan Allen in that game. They punted twice. They punted to start when they got the ball to start. When they started, they held them. They got the ball on a kickoff to start. When Kansas City scored in the second half, they went 9 play. They went 6 plays and punted. So they punted then, and they punted earlier in the second quarter when they couldn't move the ball. They had a punt, but after that, they never punted again.
I think it's the timing of the punts. Punts can come early. Late in the game, though, you're not going to be able to punt because that's when Patrick Mahomes
I
gets
agree
hot.
with that. Second half, you can't punt. You're right, Pat. You can't punt in the second.
You have any early indications on this one?
I have no idea, dude. I think the Chiefs always end up winning.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but the Bills have been doing the same damn thing. Darius Butler likes the Bills to go in there. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be playing, obviously. The concussion protocol is going to get through it. The toe is a pain in the ass, but I think they'll shoot that up. So I don't think he'll even feel it, but that could potentially get him off his game. That game, I mean, they got it right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we got it right. The
Yes.
AFC and the NFC got it right here. These are the 4 teams that I think, the 2 teams from the AFC and 2 teams from the NFC, that everybody who watches the sport will be like, these are the teams that should be in there. Just like you were saying, you got them in a pick 'em and a pick 'em or whatever. It's like the championship weekend has got it completely right. And I think that's why it's going to be very difficult to pick.
Mike, what are your notes on Green Bay and Bucks?
One other thing I want to hit. I think what Pat said is really true. So I don't think there'll be any quarterback sneaks in this game, nor will I think there'll be any quarterback runs in this game. They can't risk Mahomes taking a hit. You cannot risk that. If Mahomes gets up a little groggy and his knee buckles just a little bit, and I agree, the toe I think is as bad as anything. They're not letting us know that then he gets pulled from the game and you won't see him anymore. So Andy Reid's got to be really careful how much he uses Mahomes in the running aspect of the game. If I were Sean McDermott, I would say, I hope they try to run him on a sneak. I hope they try to run that that loaded option that they run with him down on the goal line, because we're going to hit his ass.
I'm going to say something that people
really
aren't going to
careful about
like.
that.
Go ahead.
Colts should have beat the Bills.
Oh,
Tucker misses 2 field goals.
100
Lamar throws a pick 6.
101 yard.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't believe in the Bills?
it's the Chiefs for me all day long.
Wow.
All right, what do you think about the other game, Mike?
Wow.
Oh, the other game to me. All right, so let me ask this question before we got to go. What game do we – there's always a rout this weekend, right? There's always a game that's not as close as we hoped, right?
Yeah.
What for you guys, what game's that?
I think it's this one.
Yeah,
Bucks Packers.
Me
It's this
too. I do too. I think, look, you go back and watch the Packers got up 10-0. Rodgers was great. When he threw that interception, it kind of fell apart on him. I think they have to change what they do. The last time they played him, Aaron Jones had 10 carries for 15 yards. You can't do that. You got to come out throwing the ball against the Bucks. That's why teams average more passes in the first half than runs against the Bucks. They're number 1 in the league against that. You got to throw the ball. I don't think the Bucks can match the Packers. I think the Bucks offense will struggle a little bit. Not that they won't move the ball, but I think the Packers will move the ball well in the air if they don't try to establish the run or run their wide. They were trying to run wide all the time on the Bucks defense. I don't think you can do that. I think you either take it inside or just throw it.
So since 1986, there's been 15 instances of an NFL team playing 3 straight road playoff games. So that's the same as Tampa on Sunday. 4-11 straight up, 5-10 against the spread, and over the last 8 games, 1-7 straight up and against the spread.
Wow. That'll tell you something, huh?
Yeah, I may take an alternate spread of about 2.5 touchdowns on this one, I think.
Oh, don't do that.
Holy shit. Tone, I've never heard you that confident in anything before.
The last time I was this confident was Seahawks-Broncos Super Bowl in New York.
Oh, you bet on the Broncos.
You got a pretty good read here.
I took the Seahawks.
You got a little good read here.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? You said you went with who?
I went with Seattle.
No, but I mean, in this game, you're going Green Bay.
I think so, yeah.
Alternate spread, he said.
I've been watching this all week. I think it's a rout by Green Bay, but I don't. I think Green Bay will throw the ball. I don't know if the Bucs. What quarterback have the Bucs beaten that's really good? They lost twice to Breeze last week. They've beaten Taylor Henke and Drew Brees, who his wife says has a bad shoulder and a bad knee.
Packers just can't turn the ball over, right?
Can't. That's the other thing, Gump. That's exactly right. Last time they turned it over, when that's the question. Whoever turns this ball over is going to lose. And Rodgers is usually really careful with the football. And the last time they played, he had 2 turnovers in the game.
I'm checking out what the alternate spread boosts. I'm going to boost an alternate spread, I think.
Yes.
That's going to be my super boost this weekend. I think.
You're gonna put Ty in a casket.
Ty is so mad right now.
I think this is another important fact. Last time they played, everybody thinks the Bucs offense was dynamic. Brady had 166 yards passing in the last time they played.
Yeah, Rodgers threw a pick 6 and then threw an interception in his own half too.
We'll do our picks tomorrow, Mike. I don't think anyone has to guess where we're
Thanks
going
a lot.
on that one.
See you,
Mike, if
Paisan.
you have any props or anything tomorrow or over under anything like that,
Don't worry, I got them.
take a look at them. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do a few. Since there's only 2 games, if you guys have any, we can do multiple.
Do
We can
props,
do the
guy.
game. We can do a little, we
Tony
can do whatever you
props.
want.
Tony props.
Tons of
props.
options on FanDuel.
Hunting winners,
Sportsbook.
dude. More ways to win.
You could bet that in Virginia and maybe tomorrow in Michigan too.
I think you can. Michigan tomorrow. I think. You're right.
I mean, bet Lions Super Bowl with MCDC at the helm.
Bro, you like the Chiefs a lot, huh? You?
Yeah, I'm not. I know how good Josh Allen looked. He had looked great in the regular season. They should have lost that game to the Colts.
know
I'm
what
not
it was.
wrong there, I don't think. And he was hitting every ball was overthrown, deep ball last weekend.
Pat, I'm going to ask Lombardi too. So I believe when they played Kansas City and Buffalo. Let me go to that box score.
Was it 26-14?
26-17.
I just sent in my boost.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran for 161.
The FanDuel Jordan just texted me and said, "Look, alternate line Packers minus 13.5 plus 300. We can boost that up if you want." That's what he just said.
Oh, it was he.
Yeah, he's listening right now. Hey, I just sent you a parlay, Jordan. I think we're gonna after what Gumpy just said. You know what I mean?
Oh, are we alternate spreading Chiefs and Packers?
No. I think I'm just going for my super boost. It hasn't hit in a little bit, so I'm trying to make one that is still boostable but also hittable. So I'm going. I don't want to give it away yet, but I'm going to parlay both games. I did pick who I think my bets are locked in at this point now. I'd like it to be known. I think everybody knows.
I'm excited. We'll announce those tomorrow. The Super Boost, I mean.
The Packers minus 20.5. He said, "How confident are you?" That's a plus 600. We can really get that thing
That's
going.
a lot. You
That's
don't want
gotta
to back.
It's got to be plus 1,500.
You don't want to. You don't want to back to when it's 34-10 and get backdoored to 34-17.
Listen to FanDuel. How about we make it 28? That's what they're.
Oh, is that what they?
It seems like that's what they're doing over there. They're big fans of the show, obviously. Jordan, shout out to you.
I texted Jordan the last couple of weeks about my bad beats, see if he could help me out. He said no.
He's trying to pull some strings for me, which I appreciate, Jordan.
That's
Thank
good
you.
news.
Yours is more important.
Yeah, yes, a lot more important.
Well, maybe for
Well,
in your life.
to me, yes,
in your
very
life,
much to me.
in my life. But, you're important in my
Yeah,
life.
thanks, Tony. I
Jesus
appreciate
Christ.
it.
The selfish COVID cowboy. Unbelievable.
One for one and one for all, huh?
Hey,
Yeah.
That's
we
gambling, baby.
we cannot forget. Tone did beat COVID, didn't he?
He also became the best gambler he's ever been after
Yeah,
beating COVID.
have been worse since I got out of the cave.
Well, with all due respect, I think all you did in there, right, was just
Yeah, just looked at numbers and stuff.
good for you. You deserve it. You deserved a good win there.
We will
Since
be
you
back
battled
tomorrow
COVID.
with all the bets.
Hey, I'm so pumped you survived COVID, by the way.
Thank you.
Could you imagine if he didn't? That would be terrible.
It'd been a pretty cool.
What's that, dude? It would have been pretty cool. What? Pretty cool. It would not have been. By the way. I just want to let you know.
Of all the ways for me to go out.
I mean, Gumpy, though, by the way, is saying that he would have been really sad, even though you buried him kind of for his life.
No, I stopped.
That's me, though, right?
I initially thought of myself, and then I said, no, don't do that.
At this moment, you're right. Especially because you survived COVID, you know what I mean?
I'm not much, but I am loyal.
I love you.
I wish you would have let that head breathe a little bit today. Don't you think you would have?
Tomorrow's another day.
What happened? Don't give in. You were sitting right underneath the light.
Tune in tomorrow.
Look, it's happening in my head.
Tune
right
in
now.
tomorrow at 3:30 to see if Gumpy wears a hat or not.
He didn't for Hockey Don or Hockey Talk.
That's what I called it earlier.
Hockey Don. Hockey Talk. Great show. That's Hockey Talk. Gumpy want no hat.
It's tough lighting in here.
Speaking of that, as this
table.
show continues on through the winter and spring, probably going to have to do a little more hockey. Maybe Nick Morado comes in the office. I mean, you're the best hockey gambler we know.
I am currently a sharp. Yeah,
Nick went 3-0 last night.
Oh, Nick's trying to catch up to me.
Yeah.
He thinks the Pens stink.
Well,
Nick.
their goalie does.
By the way, the Pens play tomorrow. They are 4-0 to the over, 4-0 first period overs.
See, that's what we're talking about. Just
4-0 goal in first 10.
It was only 3-3. I'm way too humble to have this guy spreading false propaganda on my name.
Well, not just that. You hate the Penguins. You said they stink.
No, I don't hate them, but they are in for a rough go here. They're missing 3 of the top 6 defensemen for the next couple weeks. So
What, did they get COVID?
no injuries. Maybe look to the overs in those games. I was 3-3, but thank you though for inviting me potentially onto future shows.
Well, that was when I heard you were 3-0.
Hockey down.
I haven't had a negative day yet though.
There we go. That's all that counts.
That's all that counts.
Well, that's gambling, baby.
We're in the green,
54%.
That's gambling, baby.
We're also going to have Billy Walters on the show soon. He got pardoned.
Congrats to him, by the way.
One of the most famous gamblers of all time.
Insider trading, what did that mean?
It wasn't. Well, I read the story. All Mickelson had to do was come out and tell the true story, but Mickelson didn't want to hurt his image, so he didn't testify. So Billy got whatever, and then Mickelson wrote a letter and it got him out.
Mickelson.
Phil.
Oh,
Phil
Phil
Mickelson.
got him in?
Yeah, it was.
Phil put Barry.
You know,
or
Phil's a gambler.
Phil put Billy behind bars.
So the headline was basically like, even though he sent him to jail, Mickelson got him out of this whole thing or whatever
Yeah, with
with
the
his
letter.
referral
Yeah.
to the whole thing.
Tough.
Phil.
It's been a tough month for the golf community, huh?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
I mean, that Tiger Doc slander. Justin Thomas.
You know, I didn't watch the.
I haven't either. I don't want to. I don't need to see it.
Yeah, but Nick said it's actually pretty
Yeah, but
fascinating.
Nick hates Tiger.
Yeah, and I do believe Nick would like a good expose.
Foxy, who loves Tiger, is going to watch episode 2 soon here, so we'll get it both sides.
Okay. I'm a Tiger fan as well, by the way.
Love Tiger.
Oh, here we go.
Again, that is false. I don't hate Tiger. I'm just a champion for truth, and I'd like the entire story to be told.
Selective truth. Then. Selective truth is the interesting thing there.
Hey, put
Nothing but love for Tiger.
Put that on my grave, champion of truth.
Truth.
I like that.
What a humble son of a
Hey.
bitch that guy is.
Print the shirts.
What a hero, dude. Are you kidding me? What a fucking hero. Champion of truth. He'll have a fucking championship belt on tomorrow. He should. What a line. Nick,
Hammer.
what a line.
Hammer.
Don.